Yeah, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending from where you're watching us from. This is African Kona. I want to welcome you, all of you. My name is Wachira. And today we are having a very special episode on African Corner because I know we had said that African Corner is a social show that focuses on social issues in Africa. But today we will just be focusing on a political issue because the situation that Kenya is right now cannot be you cannot just ignore it. You know, Kenya really plays a very pivotal role in not only in Eastern Central Africa but also in the entire continent. So therefore, it will be injustice for African Corner to watch this political phenomena go away without discussing it. So we will be looking on we'll be focusing mainly on the overview of the general election that Kenya has just held this week, the general elections of 2022. And with me here, I'm joined with my friends from all the way from South Africa. Ali, how are you doing?
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Ali joining here. I'm joining live from South Africa in the mountains of Limpopo. We eat meat with pap. We call it maize meat.
Oh, I love that. You know, you remember what you told me? Kosi Sikeleli Africa. What does that mean?
you know, on my side, my part is that it's a Morena Bulu Kasichaba Sahesu. It's like God should protect all the community in large, you know.
Okay. You know, Ali, today we don't steal the show. Today is about Kenya. So South Africa, you'll just chill a little bit. Today is our day. But what is happening there? You know, maybe you can just tell us briefly what is happening in South Africa within a few minutes.
Nothing much happening this side. You know, it's Sunday. We're not seeing a lot of things. We're seeing protests coming from other communities who are experiencing issues in terms of water. And also, we are aware that the leading party, which is the ANC in the Eastern Cape, they are having sort of a conference for their province in order for them to be able to get their leadership in order. Nothing much. And we also see that, remember, there was what is called Marikana Massacre, where people, they were being shot down, fighting for their rights, looking for a salary increase. So tomorrow, it will be serving a year where people, I mean, thousands and thousands of people have been gunned down by police for them requesting a salary increase at the mine. So we're still looking for that justice must be served. You cannot shoot a black person looking for a salary increase in the mine. And nothing much is happening, my brother, here. Just that power cuts are happening this side. The inflation is hitting us, eh?
Okay, that is really wonderful. You know, let people fight for their rights. Today here we have two wonderful guests. You know, let me not do any injustice to them. Let them introduce themselves. You know, we have two lovely guests here. I can see a lovely lady here and a gentleman who's looking so gentle today. So I want them to introduce themselves, starting with the lady. They tell us their name and they tell us what they do and anything they want to share with us. The floor is yours.
Okay, I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you, Flora. We can hear you.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. My name is Josephine Flora. Yeah, my name is Josephine Flora. I'm joining you from Kenya, specifically Kiambu County, Kikuyu constituency. I'm a Kenyan citizen. And I'm very passionate on issues, governance, and leadership. And I'm so happy in the 2022 general elections here in Kenya. We are speaking female. We're saying the future is female. I'll explain further why I'm saying the future is female. And that's why I'm smiling all the way because I am a happy woman in Kenya today. Thank you very much.
I know, Josephine. I know you'll be telling us about Nakuru County. You know, Nakuru County is just females all over.
I'm
Yeah,
so
let us
happy
go to
because
the.
for the first time we didn't have to force people to vote for women. As it Nakuru County just did it willingly. I mean, they've shown us the way, and I hope other counties will follow the course, including my own home county, because in my home county they don't believe in with female leadership. I'm hoping Nakuru will prove them wrong very soon.
Yeah, that's really good. We are hoping for the best, especially from your home county. Let us go to the gentleman, our guest here. Maybe he can introduce himself and tell us, about himself.
Hello everyone, thank you. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Go on.
Okay, yes, my name is Wycliffe Mageto. I am from Nairobi County, Embakasi East constituency, Mihango Ward. Those are the subdivisions like we have. Like in this case where we are voting, that's how we do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thank you for welcoming me here tonight. I've been following. I had been following from back then. Now today, I'm happy to be here. Let's focus now on. I have learned a lot. The new experiences here, doing the new things, actively participating in politics this time. Yeah, and a
Yeah.
lot to share. A lot to share. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. That. Thank you very much. Yeah, Wycliffe has forgotten to tell us that he's also a fellow political scientist.
Yeah,
That's why
sure.
he'll be
He
able
was a
to
He was my
dissect.
group mate.
Yeah. He'll be able to dissect
During
this.
our group discussion, yes, we did
Yeah.
a
So
lot at least.
yeah, that is true. Today, I want to start with my first question. Early today, you'll be much of a spectator or an observer, so that will be really nice. We are seeing observers coming from various parts of the world to come and observe our general elections here. So you'll also do that. You'll mostly be observing today in African Kona and also play a part of an observer. But, we'll also be asking you questions on how you're viewing this situation that is happening in Kenya from your end. So let me start with Flora. I just want her to tell us what is her general overview about this general election. We have seen a general election that, to be honest, it has been a little bit different from what you have seen before. So I just want to understand from our guests, starting from Flora and then to Wycliffe, what is their general overview? What have they seen? What have they observed about this general election 2022? Flora?
My general view about this election. Okay. I'll start by stating the first election I was able to see was in 2002. Though I was still a kid by then, I was still a little baby. And then 2007, which was chaotic. Then 2013 I saw it, and then 2017. And when I look at the previous elections, there's something different about this one. There's of course the atmosphere is tense, but it's not as tense as the previous ones. There's that calmness, and people are eagerly waiting to hear who's the next president. Normally by now we'll be having cases of people fighting and people claiming we are the winners and all that, but then this time round it's been systematic. Like results have not been announced as usual. Normally we usually vote the next day, who is the president. This time round they've taken the 7 days leeway period that is normally given unto the IEBC for them to announce the president, which I feel is good. There's scrutinization, and then there is the whole verification process. Makes a lot of sense. I was reading somewhere and people were wondering how on earth is Kenya in Africa, a country where you can access the IEBC portal and find the 434As and actually tally the results at the comfort of your home. So there's something different about this particular election. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Flora. Before I can let Wycliffe to go to come through, Flora has mentioned a very important thing, and that's why I want to put a question to Ali. Have you ever seen such a thing in South Africa? Kenya. I keep telling you are advanced and you don't want to accept. I hope you're seeing it now. So, Ali, your question is: how are you seeing the general election in Kenya from your end? What is also your general overview? From an African point of view, a continental point of view, how is South Africa taking this?
As yet, my brother, I have been following from day zero up to now. As I see that, I'm following, man, and I'm trying my level best to follow. I'm even watching the channels that side of news. The language is a problem. I have to keep on
Kiswahili.
reading. I have to keep on reading. I have to
Yeah.
keep on reading. But from a point of view, I can tell you that it looks like things are going well. But I was watching some of the a news channel there, which looks like there were some issues in terms of some ballot papers where some they were questioning in terms of asking about where does this ballot paper coming from. I even saw some police on the
Mhm,
news. I think the
mhm.
channel is KNT something there. I was
KTN.
watching the yes, they are questioning about some of the ballot papers where I saw
Mhm,
some of the community members, they were even waiting behind the baki, and I saw they don't know it's
mhm.
soldiers or police. It looks like there's some issues with those things. And I see other people
Yeah.
they were protesting. I saw it
Yeah.
today. Some people they were
Yeah.
protesting, they were on the roads. Then I'm like,
Mhm.
no, this is not how things are going. And on the other side, it looks like the counting are going up, but it looks like most of the Kenyans there are impatient. They're waiting for the
Yeah.
results.
I think there have been some sort of a joke, here in Kenya, and people are saying we should introduce a certain part of the constitution that deals with anxiety and impatience. Because I'm telling you, the impatience and the anxiety is up there, But what you were seeing is some sort of chaos. There was some sort of chaos. I don't know, it
Yeah.
was earlier today or
And
yesterday at the
I
Bomas
saw it
of
this
Kenya.
morning.
Yeah,
There was some
today
sort of
at the
chaos.
Bomas of Kenya. But I think I understand that the security there is quite tight, and they were able, to
Yeah.
calm down the situation. And that right now everything is going well, and it's a matter of a few hours we get to know who's the next president of Kenya. And let me now go to Wycliffe now. What is also your general overview about our elections this year?
Okay, thank you. About me, this is the election that we had been waiting for. It's been long, by the way. I was from the group, this was the topic while I was with Wachira about trying to predict what might be happening at this time. The way myself could predict this has turned to be a little bit different because it has turned to be the tight race than everyone expected. Yeah, there were complaints that one side is in the government. Okay, Kenya is a multi-party democracy. We have very many parties, but during every general elections, it's two horses, like we call it, two horseless, where two major political parties emerge to be stronger than the others. So here we have two. One was being supported by some powerful members of the state, so we expected it to emerge very powerful and win with a lot of very huge gap, but it has been a surprise now. That's why you can see these things happening. Like, people are not ready to accept whether that can happen. They are not ready to believe that the one man can come and defeat a group of strong men.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
but yeah, I think it's just an interesting moment, but we pray for peace because it
Yeah.
seems like no one is ready to accept. No one is
Yeah.
ready to accept. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth, But what we are really praying for, remember early last week, we were trying to tell the Kenyans and preach the message of peace. And that's what we are not going to cease to do that. We just want to urge everybody, especially the young people watching us from across the country and also across the continent and any part of the world. We just pray for peace in this country. And the truth is of the matter is this is the competition. There has to be a winner and a loser. So I think these people will show some sort of maturity when it comes to the matters of accepting the election. Because right now, as I'm seeing in these other positions, the gubernatorial positions and the members of parliament, people are really conceding defeat, which is not something that is normal. And which leads me now to my next question, and I want to start with Flora. How do you look at this issue of people conceding defeat? We are seeing people like here the gubernatorial candidate for Azimio, who was Paul Kapigadhi, accepting defeat. We are seeing people who we thought, some people thought in their mind that this is going to be a tough one, but they have humbly and they have honorably accepted defeat. From your own point of view, is this a good idea, or rather, should they take their cases to court and drag us in chaos?
Okay. One, I'd wish to applaud IEBC. Why it's not for them, we will be having people running to court. But the fact that we have people conceding defeat, it means they've seen that the process is transparent enough for them to accept I have lost this time round. So if people like, let's say, Polycarp, Igathe, and the rest are accepting that they've lost, it means the process was transparent enough. Another thing we need to realize is these people, they are conceding is dependent on our peace as Kenyans. Remember, there are people that are behind, thousands of people that are behind Polycarp, for example. And if he decides it was not transparent, that means we are going to have issues because his people will be like going to the streets and fighting and all that. So they are conceding to defeat is also making us have some peace, and the Nairobians have peace. We've seen people like the gubernatorial race in Homa Bay, the one between Kidero and what is her name, Gladys. Kidero has decided he will not accept that he's lost and he'll go to court. So the fact that we have people conceding and others not conceding, it means that the process is good. Unlike other times, no one is usually accepting defeat. It means that there is hope at the end of it all, and the people of Homa Bay are not demonstrating or anything because they believe if truly there was rigging, then the courts will do their due diligence. If there was no rigging, then we'll get to hear from court. So I believe those conceding, I've seen even the presidential aspirant, what is his name? Mwaure has accepted that
David
he's considered, he accepted that he's lost, and that's a good sign. I think I'm giving IBC a high five. They've done a good job in making sure that the process is transparent enough for Kenyans to actually concede. And I'm hoping the two hosts, the way we put it, the two presidential candidates will also accept once the results are out.
Yeah, thank you, Flora. I actually want to join Flora, in appreciating and congratulating IEBC. It has done a really wonderful job. They are being transparent. They are really doing a good job. And early for your people who do not understand what IEBC is, IEBC stands for the Independent and Electoral and Boundaries Commission. It is the body. It is the commission that oversees what is happening, what happens in matters of general election and also by election. It's the body that is in charge of that. Wycliffe, I have seen that today the gubernatorial aspirant for Kirinyaga County, Ngireshe, has said that she's going to court. She's taking the current and also the governor-elect of Kirinyaga County, Anne Waiguru, to court because she's saying that there was some rigging in the elections from that part of the country. And just to also put it in line with the questions that I've asked Flora today, or just a few minutes ago, do you think this is a right decision to make? Do you think we should follow up in court, or should they just concede defeat and wait for the next time?
Okay, thank you. For me, I first of all appreciate the IBC also because of the process, which has seemed to be transparent than it was. Like there's a lot of improvements compared to the previous elections. So that's why we've seen them accepting. Like it becomes out very clear that this is the one we imagine the winner, this is the one who lost. That's why they are able to concede very fast. But some cases like Kirinyaga County, we had the process having a lot of doubts. During the voting day, there were a lot of complaints from even the winner of that county, Anne Waiguru. She was complaining, and Ngirishi was even congratulated that day before even winning. So that confusion maybe gave her a lot of hope. She was supposed to be the winner. She was even congratulated by the deputy presidential candidate of Azimio la Umoja, Martha Karua. So it is just the matter of the expectations of those competitors that I was not supposed to be defeated here.
Yeah.
So I think going to court is a very good idea because it becomes like the only way that we can let these leaders prove to us that yes, because you are doubting, this is how we did it, and we won genuinely. But if the other one has the evidence that something wrong was done, I think the court can help them solve the issues.
Yeah. Thank you, Wycliffe. You have to put it clear that we want to believe that Kenya is a country that follows the law, and everybody who feel like they can take their case to court, let them do so. Ali, I can see. Yeah, Josephine, go through.
Actually, what happened with Girishi and Waiguru in Kirinyaga gubernatorial race is the social media effect. You see, we as Kenyans, we know ourselves in social media. So there were a lot of rumors of who is winning and who is losing. So there was anticipation that Ngirishi was winning, forgetting that you might be leading in certain constituencies and there are these other constituencies that are strongholds for your opponent. So I think that is where confusion started. So Ngirishi was, what do we call it, was gaslighted. She was anticipating victory, not knowing that the final result from IEBC will be the ones to determine who is the winner and who is the loser. So at this point, I'll heavily say the online users, the KOTs in Kenya, really
Kenyans on Twitter
played a role in
Ali, Kenyans on Twitter, please, if for the sake of your peace, don't mess with us. We see Uganda like messing with us, especially on Twitter, and we give them a run for their money. But Ali, before I can see a lot of comments coming in, but just before I read them through, let me ask you, how is the general elections in Kenya, depending on how you have seen it and also how you have heard from Josephine and also what you have heard from Wycliffe, how is it different from yours? How is the South African general elections held and how do you people go about it?
No, on our side, it's quite peaceful. I can tell you that. And one thing that I've noticed, there is quite different how these things is being run at your side. On our side, most of our people, they don't take elections so serious, I can tell you. Most of the youth, they just sit at home. They don't even see the need for them to go and vote. Reason being is that they are saying that most of the politicians are corrupt. Most of the politicians, whatever that they're doing, it doesn't benefit them. It benefits, them personally. They don't take this thing very seriously. But what I'm hearing here, it looks like in Kenya, most of the youth, when it comes to voting, it's something that they're making sure that they take it into account without any hesitation. This side, I can tell you that it looks like people.
Allow me to differ with you. Not really, because we don't want to take our credit from the youth like us. For example, I voted, and let me give myself credit, and I'm sure Josephine is here. She voted and Wycliffe. But most of the young people in Kenya, they did not, or they still do not take election as serious. But there are still some section of the young people, the youth, who take it seriously, but not much. I think it's almost similar to your place, because even this year, not only the young people, we have seen that there have been a low turnout. The low turnout for the voters. We are not seeing voters coming in as much as they could have. So that's almost similar to South Africa. But I was really wanting to know the difference in terms of how they handle. Is there a body that does what IEBC is doing there? What are the procedures that are done there? How are the polling stations there? How do you transmit? How do you tally your results in South African elections?
Yes, I'm aware that in South Africa we have a body that is actually similar to that is responsible for conducting the elections. It's called the Electoral Commission of South Africa. That is the one that is responsible actually for taking the what you call the votes into account, and is done manually this side, where you have to get a piece of a paper and you see the union there, the logo. You have to just scratch there, you scratch everything, then they have to collect this thing and be calculated. But we hear the same thing that are happening in that side, that there are those ghost voters People who
Yeah.
just vote from nowhere, and then the boxes will be pushed in there. Somebody's going to earn more vote. And in South Africa, I can tell you, it's quite peaceful. We don't have drama this side. But what is what you don't have drama? You don't have drama
Yeah,
that
yeah.
much
But
because
some of
only
the
few people.
politicians are quite dramatic. I see
They
your
are.
opposition leader. Your opposition leader down there, he's dramatic, isn't he? Or is it
No,
just politics on that side?
no. I'm aware that they make sure that they call things to order. They don't want things
Mhm.
to happen at other people's way, so they
Yeah,
call people to order to make sure that other people, they just want to win the elections because they've been running the state for some time. So they call
yeah,
people to order. They call
yeah,
people to order.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, Ali. Before I
No,
bring
no,
in
no, not
Wycliffe,
yeah, not a problem. I will join just now.
yeah, before I bring in Wycliffe, allow me just to mention the people who are sending in their comments and they're joining us live. I have Mike Modhomi saying, hoping for a great time today, and let's hear on the effect of non-voters in the election. We also have Ndungu Njeri. She's saying that she's eagerly waiting for the discussion. Ndungu Njeri, we are already on. Mary Wanjiko, she's saying, keep up, guys. And I'm seeing Mordecai saying he's following. Benson Githai saying he's following. Natasha Manda, one great thing is how Kenyans embrace women leadership. And I think this one, she's alluding to what Josephine has just mentioned. She's saying that is one great thing is how Kenyans are embracing women leadership. We also have Maureen, Ian, and Elizabeth Nyarwai, and the overall show. That's good. They are saying they're following and listening to us loud and clear. Also, Natasha Manda, she says some of the youth in Kenya participating in election monetize the whole process, especially during campaigns. And is it same case? Is it the same? I think she wanted to say, is it the same case in South Africa? I think that is Ali's your question. And also, Mordecai, I think he is answering Natasha and saying, more importantly, the ladies who vied for top position exuded goodwill, confidence, and good levels of competence. In short, people like Natasha are telling us, tuko site, wapo site. So, watu wakate simu, tupo site, we are here. So, thank you guys for following us. Keep on sending your feedback and your comments. Allow me to go back to Wycliffe. Wycliffe, I understand this is also, it has also happened in your home county. You'll tell me whether I'm wrong or right. We are seeing that people who we can call political giants in Kenya, people like various governors who have been ousted out of their positions, and we never saw that coming. Some people who are taking in this position, who are winning these various electoral positions, we never saw it coming. For example, the issue of the governor for Meru County, he has lost the election. We are seeing the Laikipia county governor has lost the election despite his stature in the national politics. You're also seeing Susan Kehika, the lady of the governor who has won for Nakuru County, the city of Nakuru. She has hosted the current governor of Nakuru, Lee Kinyanjui. What do you think about this? Is there the people of Kenya changing? Is there a new wave? I don't know if I can call it wave, or is it mwamko mpya kwa Kiswahili? How do you feel about it? What is your view on this, the failing of giants?
Okay, thank you. Yes, Ali, my home county is called Kisii County. It's also a tribe in Kenya. Yeah, so it is something that happened in very many places, including that place. There's that something people have learned, like I can call it an enlightenment, because people thought that they belong to some positions permanently. Because of their resources, they could use the resources they have, because for reality, like, our votes are being bought. They use money to get votes. So those people who have been there for so long keep using their resources to buy the votes. But I think the time has come where the people have learned that some people, some families, some groups don't belong here. Like, this is not their office to usually lead the way they want, and we vote them in again and again. So it's a good thing. Like, people are trying some new changes. It's began in 2007, a very good example, where we had a very long-serving member of parliament. He was called Simon Nyachai. So that man had fed like the constituency called Nyariba Itache belongs to them. Like it was just so easy for them to win. But a time came that was on 2007. They did just a trial of bringing in new leadership, and they learned that we can still do without some obvious leadership. So from then, some like my place, they have learned that it's very okay to do away with someone who has not performed, try new leadership, do away with someone who has not performed, try another one. So I have learned that like there are changes that happens every 5 years. We haven't had anyone leading for 2 terms since then. Then the counties like that was on Nakuru County. I saw the same case happening. I think it's this urge of people trying to learn some new things, like can something new come in if we try this? People are in this feeling like they want to try something else so that they can see the changes. The buying of votes, they are doing the same, but people want to vote in leaders this time. Then the voters also have changed. The voters of these elections, I think, from our age, we made a very good percentage. People at this age have gone to school. They know, like, even though politics are played from the party, people had this feeling that we should vote. They call it a 6-piece because of the 6 positions that they vote. But now, sometimes you can have a preference on the presidential candidates, but the member that they gave you on a certain position does not fit. So I saw that case at my home county where there was no that uniformity in terms of the party leading from the presidency to the member of the county assembly. Like there were these changes, a lot of changes. For example, I had at my own constituency, it's the UDA member of parliament that we elected. That is belonging to the Kenya Kwanza. But obviously, knowing that place is in South Nyanza, they preferred the Azimio la Umoja presidential candidate. He garnered around 68% of the votes there, but coming to the member of parliament, the ones belonging to that coalition as Azimio, where they voted the presidency, were voted out because people have begun now to look at the leaders themselves, not just other strategies. For example, the coalitions, the parties that people used to just propagate and get into leadership.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Wycliffe. I also want to pose the same question to Josephine here. What do you think about the rise and fall of political giants in Kenya from the gubernatorial? Especially, we are seeing this mostly from the gubernatorial races and the members of parliament, and also there are some senators who have been ousted out here. What do you think about that?
One, I'll have to differ with Wycliffe on people are really looking at the individuals and not the coalition or the party, because if we look at most of these counties, for example, where the governors were removed and new people were brought in, it's either the people were in this coalition and then confusion happened. For instance, if I'm looking at the case of West Pokot, the issue within Lenyangapur and Kachapin. What made actually the Kachapin to take over or to win, if you ask me, it's because of where he aligned, the party that he aligned himself with. The same thing happens in Nakuru. The lady Susan Ihiga, in as much as she's a competent leader, she was voted in I believe, because of the party that he stood with. So most of what is happening here, people are looking at you are in which party. Otherwise, if people were not looking at the party, how would we explain the case of Mount Kenya, Rift Valley, and Nyanza region? If you look at, for example, on the I was following on the presidential results. The gubernatorial. Let's look at the gubernatorial one. There's the people that were voted in, especially in Nyanza, the likes of Homa Bay and all that, were the people that are in ODM. And then if you go to Rift Valley, you are only voted in if you are in UDA. Most of them are in UDA. So I'd say, in as much as there's a new wave of leaders, it's also which party are you in? If you are in UDA, we will listen to you. If you're not in UDA, this is a zone for UDA, we will not vote you in. We are pro ODM, and we are coming with the UDA. There's no way we'll vote you in. So there's that competition of parties. Which party are you standing with? Which party are you vying with? So I wouldn't really say people are. It's a new wave that's there. Maybe it's there, but it's not yet matured enough for me to say firmly that people are now looking at things differently. There's still that thing of which coalition are you in, which party are you in. This and also tribalism is playing also another key role here. You are let's say a Kalenjin. If you are a Kalenjin, you cannot be in ODM because ODM is for Luos. If you are a Luo, you cannot be in UDA because UDA is for Kalenjin. So there's also that. So if I'm Luo today and I say I'm UDA, my village mates will be like, "Are you normal? What's wrong with you? This is a party for these other people. You cannot use it." And also there is the Modoanyuga thing, and I feel this election, the split between Uhuru and Ruto brought a mess in the Jubilee house. Jubilee, I'd say this time round, they've been seriously messed up. Because most of the seats that were now for Jubilee, they've been taken over by UDA. A good example is Kiambu County, where I am. Anything Jubilee, they don't want to hear about it. It's now UDA. So there's the party thing that's playing a very big role, and there's also tribalism. And there's also another thing of who is our kingpin. He's the one that calls the shots. If this is our kingpin and he said this is the direction, we follow that direction. So about the new wave, it's there. Yes, I will not dispute that, but it's not yet there. It's not yet matured enough. It's not yet grown in the hearts of Kenyans for us to say there's a new wave that's coming. It's there, but on low key, say low key, yeah.
Hello, Flora.
If you want to respond to that?
Yes, I am going to respond to that. Yes, I agree on the parts of Mount Kenya. The pattern at which these people voted majorly favored a different part, like it was a uniform. But my point was on the fallen. You called them the fallen giants. These giants, for example, the case of Meru, we had Meru belongs to Mount Kenya, where UDA was majorly voted, and we had the Azimio la Umoja, the bus that is for Private Murungi, and the Linturi, who belongs to UDA. But people had, because maybe I feel like they were tired of the two who have been in those positions for so long, so they had to change by voting in the independent lady. Yes. So on answering the part of the fallen giants, that's where I brought in my point. But on the other side of just voting, where the normal one happened, like in Mount Kenya, the parts of Nyanza, though we have some there who have been in power for long, but I believe it's the faith that those people, the trust that those people have in them. Yes, it's okay for people to maintain the leader if they are comfortable with them. But for those that they want to be out, I think they brought in this new thing of bringing in new options and doing away with the others. But the parties, the coalitions, they played a major role in this election in those parts like Mount Kenya and Nyanza. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Wycliffe, on that response. Ali, let me bring you back in. I hope you are learning something from this Kenyan side so that you can teach us South African people.
No, we are to no, we are actually learning, my brother. We're actually learning.
Yeah.
I've been going through spending the day following what is happening there.
Mhm,
There's a lady that is called Susan. It's called Susan Leguyang. They say name it's Leguyam. I still remember it. She's actually she's selling vegetables. She's a vendor, and
mhm,
this lady, she really support Honorable Mr. Ruto. This
mhm,
lady, she told the BCC that it have been 3 years
mhm,
of campaigns,
mhm.
and there have been no business there where she's selling right now.
Yeah.
And they just want the IEBC to just
Mhm.
declare that the person who won this thing is rude. I'm like, this
Yeah,
lady.
yeah, yeah. You see
You can
now,
hear people are impatient.
yeah, because it is the truth. There's some sort of anxiety, and people are also they are not sure about what is going to happen because, especially from Monday, this past Monday, even if you go to the Nairobi CBD, you can see that there was a lot of difference. It was sort of almost a ghost town. Channels, TV stations here were reporting that people have gone. You remember last episode I told you that people are planning to to go back to the rural areas. They actually did it.
Yeah.
Kenyans are very funny. They
Yeah,
left and but I
yeah, but
understand some
also,
of them.
you must
I
remember
understand.
that. Yeah, go through. Sorry.
Sorry. I understand some of them prefer to vote in their rural areas because uh, they say that Nairobi does not belong to any community. So people like Wycliffe might prefer going back and voting in their home counties. That is, a bit different. But that's what happen. That's what actually is happening in Kenya. Everything has stalled. Almost everything has stopped. That's why you are getting such kind of results.
Yeah, well, what also I can say is that we aim actually that Kenya can be built in such. We know that Kenya actually it's a democratic government, and we also
Mhm,
encourage competitive politics. So it
mhm.
doesn't matter whether you are an unsuccessful candidate. They need to accept that they have lost, because the
Yeah.
Kenyans outside there, they are
Mhm.
waiting to know who is the president, because they want to make sure that they expand their democratic right, and they exercise it very well.
Yeah.
Some people, they can't even sleep because they need to know who is the next president. Some, they've packed their bags. They said, okay, if this one is going to be on the chair, I'm leaving. I'm
Yeah.
going to South Africa. I'm going to other countries. They need to know. So people are impatient. But either way, I comment what is happening now compared to what had been happening back there, where there have been some sort of violence happening. It looks like the Kenyans are improving now. They're swimming within
Yeah.
the pool of the African pool, right?
Yeah, we are really improving, and so that I can prove to you that we are improving. I don't know if you know about a presidential candidate called Professor Wajakoya, who had a very different manifesto with various ideas. Have you heard about Professor Wajakoya from that side of the continent?
No, not as much, not as much. I'm just reading the articles where I see the name. I haven't went
Yeah.
much, but I'll take it into
Maybe,
account.
maybe Josephine can tell you here, and Wycliffe can also share their sentiments on what they know about Professor Wajakoya. And while they're doing that, they can also be telling us about the different manifestos that we saw coming from the various four presidential candidates. We saw that Wajakoya had a two-page manifesto, if I'm not wrong, and it was a point-by-point manifesto. So, Josephine, beginning with you, maybe you can tell Ali here who Professor Wajakoya is and how he has been doing his campaigns and how you view their manifestos in general.
While I'm on him, I hope his supporters won't stone me to death, because at first I liked him. I liked the new face. He's this person who's outgoing, and he was bringing in a new vibe in politics. He spoke about how much we need to offset our debt. That's majorly what his manifesto was about, offsetting the Kenyan debt, because he believes that's the reason why we are having issues with our cost of living. He was like, we will start snake bearing, and then we will sell poison to the Chinese to offset our debt. Sorry. And then he was advocating for bang, we should start farming bang so that we can export it to earn more money. And his figures were making a lot of sense, if you ask me. But then I was having an issue with him on what next after offsetting the debt. I really didn't get that from his manifesto. Because, yeah, your plan is good. You're having an idea of how we need to offset the debt, fine. Then what next after offsetting our debt? What happens to our infrastructure? What happens to education? What happens to health? I did get that from his manifesto. And also, while listening to him, I had a problem. I felt like he was a project. Please don't stone me. I'm just speaking my mind. I felt like he was a project. Why am I saying this? I was following
Yeah.
his rallies. While he was in Kisumu, he made a statement that to me stood out. How do you tell me if Raila wins, then it's a win for me, while you are a presidential candidate? What does that mean to a common Mwananchi? I mean, most people ignored that, but I was like, why did he say that? That means he's a project. He's there for Raila. He's not there for the good of the common Mwananchi, as he puts it out, because that's a very serious statement to put across. It's like you're there, you're a joke. That's how I saw it. You're not serious with this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Thank
liked
you.
that. And then this other one, I will really avoid talking about Raila and Ruto for now. So I'll talk about Wajakoya and Maure. Maybe Wycliffe can talk about Raila and Ruto's manifesto. So with Maure, his manifesto majorly looked at foreign investment, money that has been put in foreign banks. Those people that are putting money outside Kenya in other banks. I don't know how we call it. That name imepotea kidogo. So like, yeah. So his idea was bringing back money that has been invested outside Kenya.
Offshore
So that
account.
offshore accounts. Thank you very much. Money that is in offshore accounts to bring it back to Kenya. That was his idea. And again, I have a problem with that. So you brought back the money. You want to finish corruption. What next after bringing back the money and finishing corruption?
Yeah.
I want a detailed manifesto. Please explain to us the how. Most of these people were just giving us the what. But what about the how? How are you going to do it? How are you going to make sure this money that is in offshore accounts is brought back? And what work is it supposed to do? State it to us. This and this and this and this is what this money is going to do. I didn't really get a grasp of that from him. And then he brought to me the aspect of religion. He's a bishop or pastor or reverend, one of the three. Yeah, he's, I think, something like that. So I felt like he was too much into religion, and that might affect his execution. Kenya is a very open country. We have Christians, we have Muslims, we have Hindus, and all that. So if you come to me as a Christian, what package do you have for the Muslim? I didn't. I found that I thought it will be a hindrance in his tenure as a president. So I didn't really, his vibe was not really vibing with me. Yeah, so that's it with the Maure and Jacoya. And the two others, I don't even want to talk about them, because whatever Ruto served us is what he served us when he was with with Uhuru, and none of it was executed. Yeah.
Thank you, Josephine. Before Wycliffe comes and tells us more about Jacoya talking about castrating hyenas and selling, Ali, maybe you have a question. Some of it might be mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Somebody who is out of Kenya might think we are making our own sentiments, but this is true facts.
Yeah. No, nothing much. The question that I had, I believe it will just be in line. I just want to get this. I have been looking at the presidential candidate. I see Raila Odinga, William Ruto, George, and David also. Why it's only males? Where are the females?
I think Josephine will answer that better. She can take note of that, and she will answer that later. But let me bring in. He has Wycliffe has taken a leave. I think Josephine, you can take that question before Wycliffe comes back.
Okay, I can respond to that. Why are women not taking charge? One, our country is majorly patriarchal. Women in leadership are viewed as, I don't know, it's very hard for a woman to rise to power in Kenya. In as much as this year they've proved us wrong. Most of them have risen to power, but then it's very difficult for a woman to rise up. That's why it was a big deal when Raila picked Martha Karua as a president, as a deputy, as a running mate. It was a big deal because we've never seen a woman to that at that level. We've never had a woman run as president. And in the previous years, we had people like Martha Karua who actually tried to vie, and no one voted. Okay, no one took paid attention to them. They were not voted in. So there's been that. It's a patriarchal society, so it's a men rule thing. But then also looking at how politics happen in Kenya, it happens on the basis of which party are you in. So most of these parties, the big parties that we have in Kenya, are being headed by men, not women.
Yeah.
And the parties that women are heading are the small parties, so they don't have much power compared to these other parties. If you look at Jubilee, the chairperson is a man. Look at ODM, the chairperson is a man. Look at UDA, the chairperson is a man. And these are the big parties in Kenya. So
Yeah.
by the time they pick a woman, it would mean there are no men to lead in that particular party. So that's a problem
Yeah.
because we go by which party are you in. If you are in UDA, we'll consider you. But then there's no way a party like UDA, which is headed by the deputy president, will pick a woman to lead when the chairperson is a man. So that's a problem. The issue of party nominations, the issue of men leading these parties, it's making it difficult for a woman to rise to power.
That is true. That is true. Thank you, Josephine. That's a brilliant answer. I am sure Ali has gotten that quite well. I want to bring in Wycliffe. Wycliffe, because in the interest of time, please be as brief as possible. You can see we have some few minutes remaining. Just talk to us about the manifestos that you have seen. Josephine has talked about the two manifestos of David Wahiga, and he has also talked about the manifesto of George Luchiri Wajakoya. I'm sure you're not going to you have to mention about Wajakoya's manifesto, but please be brief. Just tell us about the other manifestos. How did you see them? The manifestos of Raila Odinga of Azimio and Kenya, and Dr. William Ruto of Kenya Kwanza. How did they help anything by bringing these manifestos in place?
Okay, thank you. I want to begin with the personalities themselves. In Kenya, this is where elections never surprise. We are usually sure of who is going to win, or who among this group of individuals is going to be the powerful competitors. So, like here, we have the major two, that's UDA and Azimio la Umoja. Then the Tingiza Mti one, that is belonging to George Wajakoya. And we have David Mwaure's Agano Party, yes. So people knew from before even the manifestos were read to us, people knew where the competition was going to lie most. But Wajakoya became much relevant than the other one. He almost became the third. He actually became the third force because of how unique he became. Because people had something that they had to pay a lot of attention to. It is something that was even changing our culture.
Yeah.
As a country, as a society, we have the cultures, we have the things that we do, the things that we have never done. But here, George Wajakoya came up with new things. The one of doing the bank farming, that is marijuana. It's something that with our religion, our Christianity, something like people forbid because they are not used to that. They believe it's something that is not supposed to be seen because they are born knowing this is something that is illegal, is something that is unhealthy, like to our mind, our children. So Wajakoya coming up with that, they had to question him a lot, and him and his running mate were very sharp on convincing the Kenyans on how these things are going to work. They gave them a lot that comes from as the products of these plants. That is hemp, where they can have oil, where they can use this as a for medicinal purposes. So
Yeah,
people were convinced. He came up with another one of bringing in new things like which
yeah.
we've
Please,
never had.
please wrap up, Wycliffe.
Yes, yeah, we had the hyena, yeah, that is we call it the tests. Yeah,
Yeah.
about he gave us an alternative, like there are markets out there where we can have their tests
Mhm,
and sell them out there. So
mhm,
that one made him much relevant, but because of such very unique points, people
mhm.
began to doubt because they saw it as a joke,
Yeah.
and that went down. The focus now turned to the two major presidential candidates because
Yeah.
they had a lot of from the personalities. Then next to
Yeah.
their manifestos,
Mhm,
they were able to explain. The one belonging to the one Kenya Kwanza, he was
mhm.
explaining on how to deal with the poverty, on how to focus on those people at the bottom, that is bottom up.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was confusing them a lot. Then the
Mhm,
Azimio la Umoja came up with the Baba Care, a lot focusing on health, focusing on education. Like he was able to explain every aspect.
Yeah.
So from the personality, then coming to the manifesto, that one
Mhm,
favored them a lot. But
yeah.
for the other ones, it is just the personalities that the people were not familiar with so much.
Mhm.
But the manifesto for the other one was a bit unique. That's Wajakoya. That is what made him relevant. For
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
I believe it's just the personality of like the people. How do the people know this person? Is
Mhm.
the life of this person in politics? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then next, moving to what is this person going to do for us?
Yeah, thank you, Wycliffe. Sorry to cut you short. Time is not only on our side, but let
Yes.
me. Time is not allowing me to ask this question and get your feedback because I wanted to get your feedback, from both of you. But I'm just going to ask you, please, to kindly take it as a takeaway question. Take it home.
Yeah, it's
Josephine,
a rhetoric. It's a rhetoric question. A rhetoric
yeah,
question.
and I really wanted to ask quickly because here many people will have thought I would ask this question to Josephine, but I will have wanted to point it to Wycliffe because here in African Corner we do things a bit different. And also Josephine, maybe next time you'll be able to tell us about this. What happened to the mother effect? When we have started the show, we have talked about how Mother Karua brought in a different aspect when Raila Odinga nominated her as the deputy presidential candidate for Azimio One Kenya. But when we are seeing the results trickling in, they are really at par with his main opponent William Ruto. So what happened to the mother effect? So please, guys, take that home. As we are winding up, allow me early to mention or just thank some various people who have sent in their comments here. And thank them very much. I'm seeing Vincent Mwangi. He has sent us a fire emoji. I'm seeing Stephen Gaire saying he's following. Collins Moreidi is also following. And Brandon Miner is following. And the other people who had sent in their comments earlier, I really want to thank them. And I also appreciate them for spending, just saving time and coming and listening to us. And also in a very special manner, I want to thank our guests today, the lovely Josephine Flora and the gentleman here who has brought wonderful wisdom to African Corner. We are grateful. And we are hoping that next time when we invite you, you'll just honor us again with your presence. Ali, that's African Corner for today. How have you seen the show today? You see, Kenyan, we have very good sharp people.
All it's in order, buddy. I see that the likes of Josephina and Flora and my man here. What is his name? Is Whitecliff. Ah man, I'm enjoying the show, man. Whitecliff. I'm good, my brother. I'm good in not pronouncing people. But okay. No man, we enjoy the show. What a lovely show. I hope that people from different parts of Africa telling what is happening there in terms of the elections. What a show.
Thank you very much. We want to thank everybody for going up. Ali.